Yeah, to the bathroom.
Oh,
But so you ready to talk about last night's presentation?
am I ever?
That's good. So we know that it's coming out March 3rd, 2017.
A little earlier than expected.
True. Um, but you know, I I guess I could say this for the end, but I'm not going to get one on day one. For reasons that I'm sure we'll both explain as we go.
Oh, I'm sure it's pretty simple, but it's worth an explanation, eh?
Right. But we know that it is just the console with its stuff already packed in is $300. So that the $300 mark, that's kind of normal for me. Seeing that for a console. Um, you said that that's not too bad for you as well, right?
Yeah, so I think 300. I'm not happy about it. Like I think it's only worth 250 in my own personal opinion.
Right.
Um, but I guess. I guess when you consider the dock and a few other things, 300 seems about on point. The only, I guess, maybe to pinpoint one of my current frustrations with that price point is that if you do you remember Nvidia's Shield tablet?
Yes.
So Nvidia's Shield tablet is basically what the Nintendo Switch is based on. Now it is a modified Tegra chip. It is not. It may be a similar one. I'm not 100% sure, but it's a modified NVIDIA Tegra chip inside of that console.
Um,
But regardless, there's the dock and the Joy Cons.
right.
Yes, you can count the Joy Cons. Um, and a few other things that don't make this too bad. There is USB-C. I don't know how much you know about USB-C. I have the Google Pixel, so I'm using that standard now.
Hmm.
And I can say that that was a great choice by Nintendo. I personally think to use instead of proprietary stuff. They're going with things that people can get their hands on. They don't have to go directly to Nintendo for. But just to sum it all up, 300 is not going to kill it. I don't think. I don't think that's. It's expensive and it's more than
Right.
they should charge for it, but it's not
True.
ridiculously more. It's not. It's not the Wii U, I guess you could say.
Right. Like, I guess another way you could say it is Nintendo has a more powerful console than the Wii U, but they know they're still not anywhere powerful like the PS4 or the Xbox One. So it's simple to keep the price at about $300. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we just need to level it a little bit, you know.
Right. Um, because if you put a price tag of like 400, 500, $600, I think that's a bit much.
I think $600 is the proper price point.
Yeah, well, um, we'll be working on the streets to get our Nintendo goodness. But
I'm all right with that. I think that's the proper way to earn a video game console.
good. So I guess moving from the price, they mentioned the online service. So so online was what came out first, the DS or the Wii? Or I guess I
It's a
don't.
DS.
Yeah, I guess I don't. That didn't really matter because the Wi-Fi thing didn't really happen until like a few years after they were both
Yeah, I
out.
think Nintendo Wi-Fi became a big deal around the time that
Yeah,
Pokemon
because
Diamond and Pearl came out.
yeah, because Nintendo Power even had an issue dedicated to Nintendo Wi-Fi. But when Nintendo Wi-Fi, first came, and we were able to play games like Mario Kart, Smash Bros, Pokemon, all that stuff was free to play online. And then the Wii U came out with the new Nintendo Network, and nothing really changed. We were still able to play games for free online, and we enjoyed it. But now it looks like Nintendo is going to hop on the boat with the others and do a paid subscription starting in the fall. Like, the online stuff will start in the summer as like free trials, but by the time the fall comes, you're gonna have to get your wallet out and put your credit card number in. And
Well, I'm gonna play, I guess, devil's advocate here. Right now, this subscription thing is negative for me. I think I don't think it's a good thing. But at the same time, I don't know what the value of it is. They haven't told us. Like, yes, they're telling me what it will do, but they haven't told me how much I'm going to be paying. You know what I mean?
right, and then,
Like, for all I know, it could be $10 a year. If that's all it takes.
true, yeah, because you're right, because they didn't say how much. They just said we're going to start this.
Exactly. If they say like, oh,
So,
$10 a
yeah,
year,
you got a good
get
point.
a stupid little SNES game that you may or may not play.
I have a feeling that the price will be cheaper than, say, PlayStation Plus or Xbox Gold.
I don't know. I'll dig
Um,
into why this service is making me nervous, because even though I just said, hey, it could be really cheap, there's also another way of looking at this. So I guess if you want, I know we're kind of skipping ahead a little bit here, but if you want to bring in, this console itself is $300. We have a paid online service. Let's talk about the accessories, the stuff that
Yeah, we can do
extends the way we use the device.
that. So,
And I guess just to start with, the one thing that has really irked me beyond belief for whatever reason, which is the Nintendo Pro controller.
yeah, the Pro controllers, the price tag
It
on
only
those boys.
costs $80.
Isn't that? I hope they lower the price on that.
It is. It's strange because I have to, again, when you look at the Xbox One controller, okay? The Xbox One controller, the PS4 controller, they're both very high quality controllers.
Right.
Special with, their own special features built in. For instance, Sony has the stupid light bar, and if you've seen the new one, the brand new, what is it? The brand new controller, it's got another light bar on top. And Xbox, while Xbox doesn't necessarily have anything super whatever, it's got the LED Xbox button, and it's got what is it called? It's got a much longer battery life than any of the other controllers. So what I want to know, I mean, they haven't, as far as I can tell, they haven't given us all the details. In fact, I may just look it up right in front of me here to see if I can get a proper idea here. But first of all, I don't know the battery life of this Pro controller.
Right.
I don't know. What is it? I don't know the HD. Let's just talk about that thing that they showed off, the HD Rumble. The HD Rumble doesn't necessarily mean anything to me.
Yeah, that's how I
they
feel.
haven't actually like yeah, they demoed it, but their demo was not. It just wasn't like a good way like I understand it, if that makes sense. Like, I understand it. It makes sense to me, but it still doesn't explain how it would actually feel in my hand. It's not explaining to me why I believe this is going to be a real cool change for the Switch. Now they did, I will give them kind of the benefit of the doubt, because they did, what is it? They did show off its ability while playing that 1-2 Switch game.
Mm-hmm.
They did say that 1-2 Switch requires it specifically for, like, I guess to get a proper... I'm trying to think about how I'd want to word this. Like, a proper understanding of what you're feeling, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to feel it buzz or whatever, and that would help your reaction time.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It wasn't like a strong point on me right now.
Yeah, it's not like...
Maybe later,
I just don't
but...
think Nintendo truly showed off what kind of ability... They just haven't... I can't word it right, I guess. I can't find a good word to explain.
Yeah, it is hard to explain, but I know what you mean.
It's not a game changer, if you will. It doesn't show any reason for me to want to pay extra for it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah, some of these prices are kind of out there, you know.
Well, remember, Joy-Cons, if you want 2 Joy-Cons, it's $80, and if you want to buy one, it's $50.
Yeah, like, what the hell? You know?
That is... I don't care what anybody says, that's a Wiimote. That's a freaking Wiimote.
Well, yeah, but like they said in the presentation, we adapted, like, everything, our Nintendo stuff, into this console, so...
Well, you'd think that would make it cheaper then, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Because there's, like... We added, like, this because of that.
It's like they're speaking Spanish to me sometimes.
See, I told you the GameCube was special because they added a damn handle to the back. It already predicted this, you know, back in 2001.
If the GameCube didn't have a handle, I wouldn't have bought it.
Hell yeah.
That handle is worth $300.
I don't know. I don't really got too much other stuff about the additional prices on additional accessories.
Maybe just to sum it up, though not every accessory is important to purchase, things like the Pro Controller, which is basically how... let me put it to you this way. When you look at a PlayStation 4 controller, you look at an Xbox One controller, you go, this is a pretty standard way to play a game. I like using this. If we didn't like it, we would have requested someone to change it. So, now Nintendo has to have the Joy-Cons. They have to, because they're a part of the Switch. They're part of its mobility.
Mm-hmm.
So I will not insult Nintendo over that. They have to do it. That's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
But what has gotten me is that their Pro Controller is expensive, and everyone's gonna want to use the Pro Controller. Now you can say, how do you know that? What are you, a mind reader? I'm not a mind reader, but I mean it's a no-brainer. If you're a gamer, you use a normal controller. You want a normal controller. In the Joy-Con, yeah. I haven't used the Joy-Con. I don't have personal experience with it, but I can almost guarantee that is not going to be the best experience when you're sitting at your house. All right.
Oh yeah.
You're sitting at your house trying to play this game in console console mode, home console mode. You're not going to be happy with that. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, I have been collecting the Pro Controllers since, you know, that fancy one that came out for the Wii. It was like a bigger version than like their first model.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it kind of reminded you like of a GameCube kind of style, but it wasn't. But it was really nice. I mean, like the first models are kind of crappy, but and of course the Wii U Pro controller is nice. But yeah, I would like to have a Switch Pro controller, but it may wait for a little while. I'm not gonna get one when I finally do get my Switch. It'll probably be like a Christmas kind of deal. Because, you know, prices will go down by that time.
Oh, maybe just another thought here, just to expand on my idea a little bit. Like I said, the Pro controller is a no-brainer. You're going to want to use it. Let me mention that also, if you remember, the internal storage of this device is 32 gigabytes. And if you plan on, you know, if you plan on basically saving anything on this device, saving any digital games, that space is going to be gone.
Exactly.
Because the average size, let me put it to you this way, you can fit on Nintendo Switch, internal only, you can fit 2 copies of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. 2 copies of that game.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, like, a good example, going to the Wii U, because I own the 32 gig console, and I have, digitally, I have the Metroid Prime trilogy on there, and it's already ate up almost half of the game's
and
memory.
It's just one game.
Yeah, it's just one game.
Games, but,
I mean, if you can help it, you know, that's where things like the physical copy would be better to have than the digital. Because you got to think of that.
Yeah,
know.
True. I don't know about you, but I pretty much always get a physical copy anyways.
Oh, yeah,
For
I'm always
me,
like that.
When it comes to size, it's basically, at this point, it's for digital only, or for when there's a sale, and I decide that getting something digitally is just, it doesn't matter too much to me. I do like my physical copies. I don't want them to die. But there are also plenty of games that are digital only, and not to be that guy, but there are game updates.
And yeah, and updates will do it.
Updates, I mean, updates can really kill you. Like, for instance, I know a game that we love, Rainbow Six Siege.
Oh, yeah,
That game
I
has
see it.
like 20 gigabytes of updates.
Yeah,
20 gigs.
I've seen it, yeah. If you still want to use Nintendo as an example, and this is kind of for me as well, because, you know, I just recently got the new 3DS XL, but for the longest time I had the original 3DS, you know, the 2011 model.
Yep.
When Smash Bros came out for 3DS, when all the DLC was coming, the new characters, stages, I actually had no more room on my SD card. I had to actually go out and buy a bigger SD card and transfer my data if I wanted to play anything new, because Smash Bros pretty much almost filled up the whole SD card on the original.
I was smart enough when I had my 3DS early on. There was a huge sale on 32 gigabyte SD cards, and I got one for like $15 or something. So I had a crap ton of storage, because 32 gigabytes for the 3DS is a pretty good, that's a pretty good number. But for the Nintendo, because remember, it's important to scale it with your games. So if games average a gig, then on 32 gigabyte card you can fit, I'd say, about 27 games if each one measures to about a gig.
Mm-hmm.
But on Nintendo Switch, we have to measure it. Breath of the Wild is 13 gigs. Most likely games will be somewhere between 8 and 12. So we have to measure that. We have to go, what kind of storage do I have to pay more for in order to make sure that I don't run out of space on this stupid thing.
Right.
Now, I think they haven't. I don't believe they've talked about this yet, and I think this is really important to note because the PlayStation Vita did this mostly because they had to, because their memory cards were too expensive. You could swap memory cards out at your leisure. You know what I mean? You just ran the memory card. So hopefully the Nintendo Switch will let you pop in micro SDs whenever you want, and you don't have to reformat and put new games and erase games on your thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah, I mean, with me, since, the Wii, and I guess the Wii U, I've only put, stuff like Virtual Console games, which don't really take up that much, because it's just the old stuff. And I have, a few indie titles, like the Shantae games, on my Wii U. Judging on that indie title, some of them aren't really that bad. But yeah, if you're putting big stuff on there, like Wii titles, Wii U titles, that's where I just stick with the physical copy, if it can be helped.
Yep.
But I don't know. I guess as a joking side to this, the GameCube controller will never die. They'll find another way to put it on the Switch, and I'll use my 2003 Wavebird controller to play Smash Brothers again. It's going to happen. You know it. The GameCube controller will never die.
Yeah, I mean, I do know that the Switch dock has USB ports.
Yeah. So odds are, I wouldn't be surprised if
there may be support down the line.
Right. I wouldn't be surprised if the current GameCube controller adapter boxes, if they work on the Switch, you're already set. But we'll see.
Yeah, I think personally they will work because, well, why wouldn't they? What would you change inside of another one to make them not work? You know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean, it's no... Yeah. Smash Brothers is going to be a thing on the Switch. They're just going to keep this stuff. It's going to be great. And Nintendo is good at keeping, old stuff and, reusing this stuff again. You can go, hell, I think the AVI cables for the Super Nintendo work for the N64 and the GameCube, so...
I believe it.
Yeah, so Nintendo's very good at, recycling their stuff.
Well, I mean, one thing that's important to note is that nowadays we just have standard HDMI, so...
True.
That again, like I said, Nintendo has made a smart move. I really like the fact that they have... what do you want to call it? They've put some standardized things. They haven't, because you know what proprietary means, right? Mm-hmm. Certain hardware that is specific to one device or whatever.
Right. They
stopped that. USB-C, my phone uses it. My phone charger can charge my Switch.
Oh,
and not only to charge my Switch, again, USB-C is, I think fast charge is basically a standard with it.
Right, I mean,
so the Switch will charge very fast on USB-C.
Right. I mean, I'm using my stuff that charges my PS4 controllers is the same thing that will charge my phone.
Charges your phone, right?
Yeah, it's
exactly.
It's
nice.
Micro
USB.
So where you don't have to have several thousand cables, and you just narrow it down to the one or two. And it's nice.
See, that's the thing, again, Nintendo has given up. The only thing proprietary are the cards they use to put the games on them. That's it.
Right. Because trust me, if you looked at my stuff right now, I got some zip ties around some wires, so it don't look shitty, like a mess. But, Other than that, I feel like we've been on accessories for a while.
Well,
I,
let's just kind of wrap it up. I think I'll wrap it up, I guess. Um, like I said, oh shoot.
you died.
Like I said, proprietary. Um, proprietary is they're getting rid of it. We have USB-C, micro SD, and what was the other one? I felt like we just talked about it, and I'm being stupid.
Micro SD, the HD.
Oh, and HDMI.
Yeah.
So there's the only thing that's proprietary is game cards, which isn't a big deal.
Right.
So, you know, your accessories are going to be interchangeable, and these are going to basically, for the most part, going to be standards that they follow for basically forever, and that's important. They're becoming cheaper in terms of accessories there, but overall, just doing a little bit of math, at purchase of this console, if you want to properly get it protected, purchase normal gaming devices such as the Pro Controller.
Mm-hmm.
All in all, this console is going to cost you, and this isn't including, for multiplayer. I'm not even including multiplayer. You're looking at a ballpark of almost $500, and that doesn't include games. That doesn't include extra controllers for people to play with you. Now, again, the Joy-Cons do... This is more of a... I still think Joy-Cons are overpriced. They're ridiculous. But Joy-Cons do act as one full controller. Okay, they do. That doesn't mean they should be so expensive, but regardless, this console, without games, is going to cost you about $500. And... that only includes a screen protector for it. I'm not including actually purchasing a case for it.
Right. And
so that is expensive. That's pretty expensive.
You gotta remember, I believe the Xbox One was $500 at its launch time.
Yes, but the Xbox One is a lot more powerful.
True, but I'm just saying in general that when you add all that stuff, it's just crazy thinking where, you don't really have all that stuff in the beginning with Xbox One.
Remember, the Xbox One also got the Kinect.
Yeah, that's true.
At launch, which was one of the reasons why it was so expensive.
Right.
So the Xbox One, yeah, it is true. When you count everything, that maybe, again, I did count this in Nintendo's thing. I'm not saying that the $300 price is not bad. Because it comes with the adapter, which that should be a no-brainer. I'm not going to act like that's a big deal. Because, why would you not put a charger in your console, Nintendo?
Oh my
stupid.
God, right.
Stupid. I'm sorry, it's stupid. You may not feel that way, I don't know. I think that's just...
You're right, don't worry. I kept my 3DS charger, so for my XL... Jesus. But yeah, for the most point, I think by now we've both got our points across for the prices and the accessories and all that stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on if that's cool with you.
Yep.
The one other note that I put for just the console itself is that no region locking. So that means if you want...
Yeah, I guess you can include that kind of in this conversation, because that's a feature.
Right.
No region locking.
But yeah, so if you want to get a game that's only exclusive to Japan, well, you can do it now. Or if you just want a game that you can only get in Europe, you can do it now. Vice versa. Which is great. Because, any games that I really want, but they were only available over there, I can get now without any problems. because I've only been able to do that with my PS3 and PS4, and I would like some other stuff I could do that with.
It is strange that Nintendo went out of their way to region lock things. I personally don't understand how region lock works. Although, it's just weird. Why would a game be region lock? You know what I mean? Like, what on the hardware side would cause something to be region locked unless someone at the top actually said, we need to region lock this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm glad that Nintendo just... I'm not really happy for myself. I don't play games outside the US, so I'm more just happy for the community that actually wants these things. Because besides you, I have other friends who also like to get games from Japan. Like, my friend plays Japanese games all the time. He downloads, like, the Hack series. There are certain Hack games that were only in Japan.
Yeah, good stuff.
I know that he played Persona 5. He loves Persona, and he got Persona 5 on PlayStation, which won't be available until April here in the States. So, I'm happy for the community. Not really myself, just the community.
Right, right.
It's good. It's healthy. It makes people use the console the way they want to use it. If you're spending that price on it, you want to use it the way you want to use it. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Other than that, those are my big things on just the main console itself. I don't know if you have anything else you want to say before moving on to the games.
I mostly pounded down the price point as my whatever. I will say, maybe just because it sounds like I'm negative, but the truth is, I've been excited about the Switch since we found out it was the Switch. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a really good console idea. I mean, if you're a Nintendo fan, you probably own either a Game Boy Advance, a DS, a 3DS.
Oh, yeah.
You own these things.
Hell, I just opened up this drawer, and they're all here.
Yeah, you did. Again, my game collection, my biggest game collections, like, you can count up my PS3, my PS4, my PS2, my Wii U, the Wii. All that still doesn't beat my handheld collection games.
Oh,
I still
right.
have, like, 2 times as much because Nintendo murders when it comes to handheld. I mean, they're the bomb. They're great at handheld gaming. In fact, they're the best in the industry, and the fact that I haven't said, I like mobile gaming better is just proof enough that they don't pull their punches when it comes to it.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, they're a mad mobile juggernaut, and if you've ever owned a handheld console, and sometimes occasionally you tell yourself, I wish I could put this on the TV. Now, I wish I could put this on the TV and bring it with me on the go.
Yeah, because I was about to say, they did have things like that, like the Game Boy Player, but you can't really...
It just wasn't enough, you know what I mean?
I mean, unless you got, like, your mom is a soccer mom, and she has one of those vans that you connect the television to the van, but that's still a hassle. Where, with the Switch, you don't have to plug all that shit up. You just go...
Yeah.
And if you're going to the store or the mall, you can keep on going, You just leave your car and keep on playing in the mall if you want.
Well, see, the thing is that the Switch, the way that they've set up the Switch, and again, even though the dock is overpriced, like if you want to purchase a second dock, it's $90. But although it's kind of overpriced or whatever, the dock is the answer to making things not complicated. Like I said, I want to put it on the TV. So I don't know if you ever... I guess you've owned a PSP. Did you ever own the TV cable for the PSP?
No, but at one point I did, mostly for stream purposes, but I just never got around to it.
But did you ever use it before?
I have not.
Okay, so you never played your PSP games on the TV.
No, but I know what you're talking about and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
that was
Yeah.
something I wanted, but when I realized I had a 1000 and I couldn't use it, I was pretty upset.
Yeah, yeah. That was my deal. It was I have the cable, but mine's a 1000 as well.
Yeah, I have a 1000. I have the classic, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um,
Um, but
but
it's still
you know,
cool.
that's kind of the thing. That was that first time where I'm like, I really love to play these games on TV, even though it's not the best on TV. It's not whatever, but Nintendo, what they're doing is they're suspending our disbelief, if you will. They are giving us a handheld, or excuse me, let me twist this a little bit, because they're not actually giving us a handheld. They are giving us a home console that we can bring on the go. That's what they're saying. It's a home console, we can bring it on the go. And that's important. This idea that they're having this seamless transition between on the go, handheld, and home console. When you get home, you've got your dock plugged right in, just like your PS4, just like your Xbox One, your PC.
Mm-hmm.
You just pop it right in. It starts charging. It starts charging your handheld, and it pops it on the screen for you. So when your battery's low, and you get home, instead of charging it and then plugging the stupid cable in and having it hang around, you get to enjoy your experience in another way. Or if you just feel like having a console experience, I want to lay down and look at the TV.
Right.
That's available to you, and I really like that. I think that the main idea of the Switch is Nintendo. It screams Nintendo. I've been saying they should have done it for years, back in the Wii era. It's really a great idea. It's perfect for Nintendo, and I just want to see them fulfill this. You know what I mean? I really want to see them actually do the way it's supposed to. You know, like, use it the way it's supposed to be used. Give us the ability to take it on the go. Give us the ability to enjoy it at home.
Mm-hmm.
So I like this. I like it. It's a good idea. It's pricey, but I think that this could be, you know, Nintendo's future, if you will. The actual future of Nintendo is becoming a hybrid.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't know if that's what I still think that they're probably going to make another home console in a few years. And by a few years, I mean probably about 7. You know, we're going to be stuck with the Switch for a while. So if you don't like the Switch now, you're not going to be very happy.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you haven't been enjoying the Wii U. You got
Like, put it this way,
7
you're
more
gonna
bad years.
pissed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess the other little stupid thing they showed on the presentation was, oh, or did we already mention that about the whole, where they were showing the ice cubes in the cup?
Actually, we haven't really talked about that yet. We kind of skipped over it because I ranted about the Pro Controller being ridiculously expensive, along with a few other things. I guess we didn't mention that, and we didn't mention the fact that the dock doesn't have an Ethernet port, so you need to purchase a separate LAN adapter once again.
Right.
But yeah, maybe if you wanna transition into real quick the ice cubes.
So yeah, so this thing will like know like how many ice cubes are in your cup, and like the amount of water and all that weird shit.
I'm confused. Is that part of the HD Rumble, or is that a separate feature?
I don't know if it was part of the HD Rumble. It might have been, but it could have been a separate feature.
I'm just not 100% sure what if that is just part of the HD Rumble technology.
Most likely, I kind of, it didn't really get to me, and I wasn't really paying that attention to it. I didn't really care for what they were talking about. Like, when am I going to care about the how many ice cubes are in my cup?
I mean, okay. So, it's weird. I've had a sudden... I don't know why I didn't connect the two till right now. So, I think that in terms of, why would you care that you can feel things going on? But what if Nintendo did do VR?
True, then they'd make it a bit better.
They would have, I mean, it's not like it's a big deal. The Joy-Cons are really small, and I think it's still just a bad idea in general. But that could be the most advanced VR available besides the whole room. It's like you need a whole room to do it type VR. That's really the only other thing I can think of.
I mean, like, imagine like a game like Zelda on the VR for the Switch, and then have like all that specialness to it,
Yeah.
But I don't know. For me, it was just something that we're talking about. I'm not too worried about it right now. Other than that, is there anything else you wanted to say about the main console itself?
Yeah, I think I'm done beating it, I guess.
All right, good. So you ready to move into games?
Yep. Let's get into what's really important
of what they showed. Okay, so after they showed like the console and all the stuff that's going with the Switch, they did like the next important part of the presentation, and it's the games coming to the Switch. Well, let's start with the first one. I thought
they'll be here one day.
I thought the first thing they were showing off was Clint Eastwood, the video game. I had no idea what they were showing, but the actor they got, I swear he looked like a young Clint Eastwood. And then the other guy, I was like, what are they showing? And then like my nephew, he brought up, he's like, wouldn't that be something if it's like a sequel to that NES game that was like Quick Draw or something?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. With the cowboys and like the Western
Yeah, I
theme.
don't know what it's called, but I know what game you're referring to.
Yeah, it had like the Duck Hunt style to it. And I was like, that would be something. And then they were like showing like this draw stuff, and then all this randomness, and then they're like, this is our first game we're showing. 1, 2, Switch. Oh yeah, that was something else they were showing the whole thing.
I don't want to be that guy, but like when I first saw it, I'm like, are they about to reveal a live action trailer for Red Dead Redemption 2?
Right.
Because for the past few weeks, like there was always like one stupid article in M4G about how there's no possible way that Red Dead Redemption 2 was coming to the Switch. And I'm like, well, I probably believe it. I'm thinking, oh my god, are they about to prove them wrong? But no, it ended up being a weird little tech demo game.
Right.
Though I don't know how much content is in it.
Right.
I'm going to say it's probably not worth the price that they're asking for it.
It looks like what Wii Sports was to the Wii, and like other games like Wii Play and that kind of feature. That's what I look at it like. So that means it could be something good when it does officially come out later, but
was Wii Sports worth $50?
Probably not.
I mean, I wouldn't hate on Wii Sports.
Yeah.
That's the thing, though. Not to be too harsh on it, but it's a tech demo.
Right. I mean,
it's showing you what's possible with the motion controls.
True. And I did enjoy the boxing on Wii Sports. But yeah, that's.
I mean, who didn't like the tennis? Who didn't like tennis?
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the tennis, the baseball, the golf,
Freaking-
especially the bowling.
The bowling, like honestly, I think the most lackluster one was golf, and even golf really wasn't that bad. It was an enjoyable experience that they packed in with the Wii U to show you how interesting the motion controls can be in the Wii U. And they're right, they were pretty fun. Now, they had that Wii Sports Resort, which was supposed to show off the Wii Motion Plus, which was a glitchy fucking mess.
Yeah.
But, and I know some people won't say it's glitchy, but for God's sakes, you got to sit it down every 3 minutes just to recalibrate it. It sucked.
Looking
I don't
at
wanna
you,
be mean to
Skyward
it.
Sword. Looking at you.
Yeah, like, oh my God. Skyward Sword, I watched someone play it, right?
Right. You have
my
to
God.
every so often the Motion Plus would just stop, and you had
Every
to
5 minutes, man. It was ridiculous.
you had to pause the game and get it back up and running, and it was annoying.
You had the game would pause itself. Well, no, it wouldn't. Link would just start like trying to stab himself with the sword,
and
then you had to sit it all down
yeah,
for like a few seconds, then you had to pick it back up, and you were good to roll. That's just like annoying. That is just ridiculously annoying. And if it malfunctioned on you in the middle of something, oh my God.
Yeah, it was definitely something. But yeah, the 1-2 switch, it's just pretty much
just showing you what what the Joy-Cons can really do.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like Wii Sports showed you exactly how motion controls can be used in games. Sports games.
It's pretty much like a basic way to learn the system, you know.
Well, to learn. I mean, it's not like you're learning the system. I think that's a bad way to put it, because I don't really think you're gonna learn much about the system.
Okay, maybe the controls then.
Yeah, the controllers.
Yeah, the
Joy-Cons. The Joy-Cons are, what do you want to call it? They're the main staple of the Switch. They are, when you think Switch, you think Joy-Cons. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. True. But other than that, it's something.
It is something.
And then they moved on to the next one, which is known as ARMS, which seems to be a game where the characters have like springy arms and they got like punching gloves. And yeah, you're just punching the other person with the silly Looney Tunes stretch effect, which, you know, is whatever.
I mean, to be fair, the way that they showed it, in my opinion, they kind of pulled an Ubisoft, which was to show how engaged people get with it, and to make you feel that it's a more immersive experience than it actually is. Do you know what I mean by that? Like, have you seen, for instance, Ubisoft's E3 trailer for The Division?
Yeah, I've seen it.
It felt so genuine, and then when you actually play the game, it doesn't feel anything like it.
Yeah, that's probably what it's going to be. I mean, you know, by March, it's probably going to be a decent enough game.
Yeah.
It's just the way they showed it. It was whatever to me. But I think if I got it and sat down and played, I think I would probably enjoy it.
Yeah, I think for me, it's one of those games where, like, I would get it when it would be on sale.
Right.
And then I pretty much would only play it when I'm with a friend or family or whatever.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Like, for instance, I would be like, "Hey, bro, want to hang out?" And then we would get our Switches and we would play these games. We'd have a little bit of fun with it. Because I bet you we could like again 1-2 Switch and ARMS. I don't actually think are necessarily bad games. They're overpriced for what I believe their value should be, although I do not know the full content of it. But what I can say is, I bet you if we were hanging out and we were playing these games, we'd have a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
It's goofiness. People our age especially love to be goofy.
Right. And Nintendo was always good about these kind of games because they would bring people together. I guess what some people call the living room couch experience, bring the people together.
Yeah.
But I think they'll both be decent once they're out and you get like some friends together. But other than that, that's how I feel about those first two. So,
yeah, I really do think they have some value when you're hanging out with people.
Right. So then they got real dirty and they showed us Splatoon 2, which I can dig it. Apparently, the game itself takes place 2 years after the first game.
Oh God, there's a story?
Yeah, and okay, here's the thing. Because you know how the first game had the Splatfest. You know, it was, this versus this. The last Splatfest was between the Squid Sisters. Which one is better, Callie or Marie? And in the trailer for Splatoon 2, they showed an image of Marie. Marie's the one with the white hair.
Yeah.
They showed her, she was in a different outfit, but they weren't showing her face. She was like looking at the sunset. And she was the one that won the Splatfest. And people are now thinking, we're the ones that got rid of the other sister. Because,
oh God!
Yeah, and then people were wondering if they tied in the Splatfest to this new sequel. So here's the thing is the story mode. I'm going to spoil it for you. You're going to end up reuniting the sisters at the end. Yeah, that's what it is.
No way.
I bet you.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, I can see these people doing it. Cause again, remember how he came on the stage? The dude was in a freaking lab coat. He's like, "I'm from Squid Labs," and blah blah blah.
Yeah, he's just being goofy.
They're goofy people, and I can see them doing a goofy storyline like that. That your Splatfest decision actually made a difference.
Really, what the story of the first game was getting that one thing back to the town, the eel-looking thing, and you fought like the DJ octopus thing. And once you defeated him, you got the thing back. So,
yeah,
because Splatoon didn't really have a story. It
was, it felt shoehorned in. Like the game had originated as that single player experience, and then Nintendo kind of realized how shallow it was,
right?
And how the mechanics they were using could really be used in something else,
right? I mean, you could take the story mode away from the first Splatoon, and it would still be a decent game.
Well, I mean, honestly, I don't know about you, but I beat story mode and never visited again, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's how I was. It was everyone went to the online feature,
Well, I mean, that's where, 95% of the game was, so.
I mean, hell, they even had to raise the level cap from, 20 to 50. Because,
I guess they did do that.
Yeah, because they were like, we didn't expect no one to hit the level cap in just a few weeks, Because
they didn't expect that? I think my second week I got to level 20.
Yeah, no one, the guys who made Splatoon, they were like, yeah, we didn't expect anyone to get that fast.
Did they expect people to not play the game?
I don't know. Yeah, I climb levels pretty high, so. But other than that, it's they're adding other special features and other accessories and to the game. The game is not a launch title. It is set to release sometime in the summer of this year. Um, which is probably why, or I'll probably be getting my Switch around sometime in the summer.
Yeah, that's really my opinion. Is I think at launch, if I really want to play Zelda, I'm not gonna
Right.
I'm not gonna spend a bunch of money to go purchase a new console to play it. I'm just gonna play it on the Wii U, which I'll just wait till I get a Wii U, you know. Or I mean, yeah, I'll wait till I get another Wii U. I'll wait till I get a Switch, you know.
Exactly.
But really, what's gonna bring me into the Switch at this point is Splatoon, I think.
Right.
Because a game that we'll jump into, I believe, is next. There's another game that is definitely the Wii U seller for me. It's the killer app, if you will.
Yes. Would you like to?
But Splatoon is. I like Splatoon 2, but it's more like Splatoon plus for me.
Right.
They have added on to the main Splatoon experience, but I don't think they've done anything outside the box. Again, we don't know all the content yet. We don't know if there's all sorts of new game modes and stuff. You know, we don't know that
Right.
yet.
Yeah, they'll do some directs and whatnot right before they come out, anyways.
Yeah, I did read today that they said that announcements and stuff had just begun. That
Yeah,
they plan on talking about more stuff. So I'm hoping that that's not them just being PR.
Right.
They're actually telling the truth and like, hey, we're gonna talk to you about it a little bit.
But so other than that, it looks good. Probably get it. Um,
Oh, get it.
but
That's my.
I think the next game that they showed is probably one of the biggest highlights, and it is the new Mario game, Super Mario Odyssey. And it looked really good. It gave me the Super Mario Galaxy kind of vibes, mixed in with like Super Mario 3D World, and you get to go to Manhattan.
You get to go to Manhattan.
But you get to go to like all kinds of places, and of course it looks like the same story. Bowser kidnaps Peach. He's gonna want to marry her, and but it still looks good. It still looks great. I really want to play it, but it's not a launch title. It's coming out sometime in the holiday season of this year. So yeah.
I was really excited personally for this game. I'm really bummed that it's not launched. Like I was really hoping it would be launched and then I would just get a Switch at launch. That was really in my mind when I was thinking about the Switch. The only reason I wanted to get it at launch is because of that new Mario game. I really think Super Mario Odyssey is such a. It's a funny game. I don't know. Like, there was no specifics on how the levels work, but they said that it's very open world, like Sunshine.
Right.
But I'm starting to wonder if it's just like each level is just its own open world. It's its own contained environment. And you just kind of go around completing objectives in that environment. Because if you saw, like, for instance, Mario was like playing like what was it, like jump rope with people or something, you know, like weird stuff. Like he was going around and interacting with the world in such ways that just screams open world.
I didn't watch it today, but Nintendo had their Treehouse live stream go on today for, I think it was, I think it was on for almost 5.5 hours.
Super Mario game?
They played, I don't think they played it, but they were talking about it.
Oh man.
It was with Miyamoto and like two of the Treehouse guys, and they were talking about Super Mario 64, and then they moved into Super Mario Sunshine, and Miyamoto said he got a lot of his ideas for Odyssey from those two games, and Galaxy as well. And he said he wanted a big Mario open world sandbox game, and he says that he told those guys at the Treehouse that this is going to be a big deal for Mario. Like, this is one of the biggest things they've ever really worked on with Mario. And I'm really looking forward. I mean, here was the thing. If this game was going to be a launch title, I would have probably tried to have pre-ordered my Switch now. Because with Mario and Zelda,
that's a pretty hefty launch, if you ask me. That's a pretty good launch.
I mean, yeah, if Mario was a launch title, I would have done it. But since Mario's not coming out until sometime in the holiday season, it's a pass. Well, it's a pass on pre-ordering now.
Honestly, it's because I guess maybe this is a good time to get into it. The fact that if you pre-ordering right now is just, again, hell.
Yeah.
And it's a classic Nintendo. I hate to say it, but this is starting to just become Nintendo's business philosophy. And I've found it increasingly more irritating because it's just really starting to hurt people like you and me, fans of them, big fans of them, who want to get their console but can't because we're in college and we don't have time to sit up at 3 or 4 a.m. in the fucking morning. And, hit F5 continually on websites or go in early in the morning to GameStop when we've got class early in the morning just to get a stupid pre-order in.
I know.
We're not even purchasing it. We're we're committing to purchasing it. That's what we're doing.
Exactly, but I can hold off. I can hold off. There's nothing right now that makes me say yes. I gotta pre-order this before everyone else gets the GameStop.
Yeah, there's nothing. In my opinion, there's nothing on the Switch at launch besides ARMS and 1-2 Switch that is a game changer, if you will. That is something only I can experience on the Switch.
And you've already mentioned it with Zelda. Yeah, I've already had it set to where I changed my Switch pre-order to the Wii U version.
So you're gonna get it on launch anyways then?
I'm still gonna get Zelda, but just the Wii U version. But with my collection, I'm going to end up having both, the Wii U and Switch Zelda, because that's kind of how I do, especially with Zelda. If only you could see the different versions of Ocarina of Time I own. But and I can deal with that. That's not a big deal with me. I'm a collector. I like to collect things, even if it is the same game.
I mean, I'm not like a big dude on I like to collect. I like to collect, but I don't like to purchase things twice. I will play because like I told you, I don't hate The Legend of Zelda anyway. I'm a pretty big fan on Zelda. I'm just not a huge fan of it. I have to have it as soon as it comes out. Zelda's more of I play Zelda casually. And when you play Zelda casually, it's just a pick up and play whenever you've got time sort of game. You know what I mean? For me, that's when you're playing it casually. And it's a good game. Like Twilight Princess is my favorite Legend of Zelda. I love that game. I think it's a great game. Yeah. And even the stupid DS ones like Phantom Hourglass, I thought Phantom Hourglass was the fucking shit. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
it was a good game.
Yeah,
even though
I enjoyed
had to play it all with the stupid DS pin.
Right. As we're talking about Zelda, the Wind Waker ending credits theme is playing right now.
What a coincidence.
But yeah. So we have Mario. Even though holiday. But so I guess I'll go on and move on.
If you want, I think maybe we should just list out, because I think at this point, um, there were only a few games that we didn't get release dates for, or anything. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so there was a few games. There was Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yeah. So we
No
got
release
that.
date, no details, I think. I
Yeah,
don't know if it's coming out this year or next year.
Right. Like pretty much. Yeah, I guess all the other games at this point, unless there was one I just didn't see, they were like, yeah, they're coming out for the Switch, but we don't know like what month or what.
Yeah, they didn't have any
You know,
details
Like
in
they
regards to
like they
release.
could be out this year, but they could be out next year, kind of deal. So yeah, I guess we could like in no order or any random order. The only other games they really showed off after Xenoblade 2, we had like No More Heroes 3. Well, could be No More Heroes 3, but it was just a No More Heroes game coming to the Switch. We had
Well, I think. Oh yeah, okay. I see what you're doing. Sorry.
yeah, we
I was thinking you're listing off all the people that showed up.
Oh no, I'm just going with like games. We had EA showed off FIFA instead of NBA.
Well, EA doesn't. Or wait, was it an NBA game or was it a 2K game?
Oh, sorry, yeah, they didn't show off the 2K game. They just showed off.
Well, wait.
But
what
they
is
didn't
it
even
called?
show off
'Cause
FIFA.
2K, I thought, huh? Is 2K made by EA?
I don't know, but I don't know. EA just showed off
It must be made by them, and I'm just being a dick.
They just showed. They didn't even show gameplay. They just showed FIFA because they were like FIFA, still working title.
It's still working. What do you mean? It's FIFA.
But and then of course Square Enix, they showed off Dragon's Quest 10 and 11. Yes, it's just for Japan, but going back to the no region lock, if you want, you can bring them over here now. But of course, everywhere is getting Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2. They also showed off Project Octopath Traveler. And then we also saw Skyrim, which was no surprise, really. But they said Skyrim is coming to the Switch, and
Not at launch.
Well,
I don't
yeah,
think,
not
actually.
at launch. They just said it's coming to the Switch,
I don't know how
so-
Skyrim isn't at launch.
right? And then of course, some guy from Sega showed up, and he's like, "We can't wait to bring games to."
Yeah, that freaking
Switch.
vampire. They took their vampire of Sega
It's
out
like-
to suck people's money in their blood.
It's like we got like nothing else to show right now, but we got games like Sonic Mania and Sonic, the Sonic Project 2017 coming to the Switch.
I think 2017 might come out on the Switch this year too.
Which would be good. I would hope so. Yeah, because when it comes to Sonic, I either get him on a Nintendo console or an Xbox console, and I don't have an Xbox One, so.
I guess you're gonna have to get it on the Nintendo or the PS4.
Right. It's probably going to be the Nintendo.
I haven't actually made my mind up yet. It mostly just depends on if the Switch version is the same as the PS4 version.
Right. I mean,
Because remember, Sega is notorious for releasing multiple versions of one Sonic game.
true. Other than that, there was other games that weren't really shown during the presentation, but they end up like showing little bit of clips, like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and like other games like like a new Bomberman and all that other stuff.
Don't forget an important one, because it's getting a direct. on the 18th, I believe.
Oh yeah, that one completely slipped my mind. The Fire Emblem Dynasty Warriors game. Yeah, that is getting a direct here soon. Yeah, so if you liked Hyrule Warriors, well, they're coming out with another one, but with Fire Emblem characters.
Yeah, I mean, I actually, when it comes to the, I mean, I should have got, I didn't get Hyrule Warriors, okay? I didn't get it, and I should have, and maybe I will eventually. It always seemed to be pricey, and I never had a good time to purchase it. But I'm pretty excited for Fire Emblem Fire Emblem Warriors. I think, the Fire Emblem games themselves I don't really like. Like, I'm not big on tactical RPGs like that. But I really like the characters. I've always thought the characters like Marth,
and
Ike, all of them, they look cool. They're cool looking characters, and they have cool abilities. They are, swordsmen, just like Link, but they have their own sort of magic to them, their own flair, their own character that just kind of make them cool characters. And for that reason, I am kind of not like, oh, must have triggered type, excitement, but I'm probably gonna get Fire Emblem Warriors day one. To get a cool Warriors game on the Switch. And I know that Warriors games are very... I think just because of their gameplay alone, they seem to be controversial to people. Because they're super repetitive experiences. They're button mashers. But they have character. They're fun. They are fun games to play. Like, sometimes you just want to smash shit up.
Exactly.
And only Dynasty Warriors can really help you enjoy killing like 70 people in one swipe of your sword. You know what I mean?
Right. But other than that, with games, one of the things that I was hoping they would bring up, but I guess they will later, I was kind of hoping they would say that GameCube titles were gonna come onto the Switch's Virtual Console.
Yeah, I was actually about to bring that up, but I'm glad that you did. So far, the only thing we know is going to be on Virtual Console, no surprise, is NES and SNES. Right. They didn't mention any other Virtual Console, I don't think.
Yeah, they didn't. They barely really touched on the Virtual Console at this presentation.
In GameCube titles for Virtual Console they've been sitting in the rumors. Like, there's just crap tons of rumors about them.
Right.
Because people really want them. They've been requested since the Wii U came out. I mean, technically they requested it with the Wii, but I've never seen a need to have a Virtual Console for a console right before the console you play.
And the GameCube is showing its age now. It's about 16 years old.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's Virtual Console worthy. You can't... Right. The only place you can go get GameCube games now, and not brand new, or GameStop and third-party sellers. You're not going to go to Walmart. You're not going to go to Target to go get these games.
Right. I mean, yeah, like, the only time I can get GameCube games, really, is when I go down to Myrtle Beach and I go to this place called Player's Choice, and I mean, they have tons of GameCube games, but really once a year it's kind of hard to keep on going. But yeah, and some of my GameCube titles I eventually need to get, like, cleaned or something, or fixed. But I could throw in some, Virtual Console GameCube titles, and I think that would be great. But other than that,
yeah, I was I'm pretty interested in hoping that GameCube makes it to Virtual Console.
Right. Other than that, was there any other games you wanted to talk about?
Um.
I have one other, but I'm leaving it to the end. It's one that
Okay.
it's one we all know, but
I guess if you want, we'll just move it to the end and talk about it. I do have one thing I want to talk about, but I'll just wait till you're done talking about your game.
um,
Because my game's not one that actually technically exists right now.
okay. Well, my game is the game we all know. We've known since the beginning. I just want to touch on Zelda one more time. Breath of the Wild. They showed a new trailer there at the end of the presentation, and I was like, "Oh my god, this looks amazing now!" And I am just I'm really hyped for the new Zelda title. I think Breath of the Wild is something that the Zelda series have needed for a long time now. Um, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I probably haven't been this hyped for a Zelda game since, well, I guess Majora's Mask on the N64. So, but um, other than that, that's all I wanted to say about Zelda. So you can go and say what you want to say about your game.
Oh, mine's more of a wrap up than it is anything else.
All right.
Um, look, with all of the games and the Nintendo Switch potential, it's not necessarily about the power when it comes to Nintendo Switch.
Right.
It's about the experiences that they can provide to us on the Switch. And there are certain game series that we've heard nothing about. We've heard rumors about Metroid coming. We've
Right.
heard rumors about certain third-party games coming that are available on PS4. Not big rumors. I heard that because Bethesda's looking at it. There's a possibility of Doom, although probably won't happen. Bethesda may just put Skyrim on it and they're like, all right, see you guys later.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that's what's gonna happen. That Skyrim's gonna sell like I'm gonna buy Skyrim on the Switch because I'm one of the 5 people in this universe to never actually really play Skyrim.
Well, you're not totally alone. So.
Oh, you haven't either?
No, but I think I'll get it
Okay.
on the Switch as well.
I'm thinking I'll get it on the Switch because I can carry it with me whenever I take car trips and stuff. Not too long distances, but I can carry it with me. If my girlfriend's on the TV, I can play on my my Switch or whatever. I think that having a mobile Skyrim is a cool idea. I like it. It sounds like a good idea. And some of these third parties, yes, Nintendo for the Wii and Wii U have basically been, it's all about the first party games. It's all about the first party games. Don't worry about the third party games. But that's just not true because a lot of the good experiences on these consoles are from third party games. Yes, they're exclusives, but they're third party games. So it is nice to see people, besides Sega, Sega still support that 3DS and the Wii U just fine, I guess. They had Sonic Lost World and those stupid games. I don't know if Sega hated the Wii U, so they're like, we hate you. Here's Sonic Lost World. We hate you so much. Here's this game. But there's just so much potential with this console. There's so much, and Nintendo hasn't really displayed that yet. I don't think. there are some interesting things they've shown. Again, having this crazy open world Zelda game is still a nice achievement on a mobile console.
Oh yeah.
I will not take that away from them at all, because I was very happy that they said, "Oh, we're bringing Breath of the Wild over to the Switch," because again, anyone in their right mind knows that having The Legend of Zelda on more consoles is just better. But so, yeah, having that mobile Zelda is awesome. Again, I actually, my first time completing Ocarina of Time was on the 3DS. And I loved it. I brought it on the go with me.
Right.
I thought that was something that made me want to complete it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you kind of feel that way. Nintendo has always captured me with their mobile. I love their mobile, and they even their even oh. Sorry, I'm playing Rainbow Six and just something hilarious happened.
It's all good.
I'll have to explain it to you later. It was just funny. But I just think their home console experiences are so good as mobile too. Like I don't know if you feel that way, but I certainly do. Every time I play, like let's see, let me think of a good example. Like, first of all their Pokemon games, like XD Gale of Darkness, those all were just fine.
Mm-hmm.
They could have easily been put on a mobile device, or not? A mobile device. Like Luigi's Mansion 1 could have been pretty cool on a mobile device. Like, I wasn't a big fan of the second one. I don't know how you felt about the second one, or if you.
I played the second one. It's all right, but I would rather go back to the first one.
Yeah, I like the first one better. But you know, it would have been a cool experience on there. Again, Super Mario Sunshine would have been a great game.
Yeah.
I can't think of one Nintendo game where I'm just like, you know, this is just better on console. This is just better. Like I guess Hyrule Warriors is better on console. But that's just because the 3DS version is, you know, shit. It suffers really bad from performance issues.
Yeah, especially if you're going to play it on the original 3DS.
Oh,
you might
God.
as well shut the lid on the 3DS and just walk away.
Unless you like playing subpar 20 FPS to 15 to 20 FPS all the time.
It's like, did you hit
Looks
him?
like a
I don't
bad
know.
Too many people go on the screen, and all of a sudden your
Oh my
3DS
God.
literally shits out of the audio
Oh my
port.
god. Yeah, if you fought like Pokemon Sun and Moon when you have like a double battle is a little bad, you've seen nothing yet.
See, I only experienced Pokemon Sun and Moon on the new Nintendo 3DS, which was the reason I even bought the new Nintendo 3DS, was basically so that I could enjoy Pokemon, because I just remember playing, because I played X and Y on the 3DS XL, not the new one. And X and Y and Alpha Sapphire, Omega Ruby, they would just lag out during battles, and it was fucking retarded. Like it wouldn't just lag, like you would be waiting for things to load in that lag.
Yeah.
It wasn't just lag. You would just be sitting there like, oh, I get it. My Pokemon are out there. Can I hit a button? And there were some instances where I legitimately saw the game hang up. Like one time, I think it took like I thought the game froze. It took like 10 or 15 seconds just for the fight thing to load. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was a rare occurrence, but that's pretty bad when your game is having that much trouble. And for God's sakes, it's just Pokemon. Why are you lagging so much? I don't know. I think Game Freak, I think they're terrible optimizers. I think they really don't spend a lot of time optimizing games, which is why it actually ran as shit on the 3DS. But I'm not a game programmer, so I'm not going to call them out on that. But like I said, there are so many experiences And this is actually a reverse idea. There are so many console experiences that are great, that could be great for handhelds. But on the other hand, there's so many good handheld experiences like Pokemon Sun and Moon that I think belong on a home console, or at least belong on a screen.
Right. Yeah, it'd be like we said in our last discussion video. If they make a third installment for Sun and Moon, I'd love to see it on the Switch.
And this is actually, oh god, since we're talking about this, perfect time to mention it. This was something, again, you said you wanted to talk about a game, Legend of Zelda. I want to talk about a game that doesn't technically exist, and that's whatever the hell Game Freak's bringing to this console. Because
yeah,
Game
I want to
Freak's got
see.
something. They've got something. Don't know what it is. Not sure if it's. I mean, as rumored and as seen, basically, it's definitely Pokemon Sun and Moon related.
Yeah, because like I said before in the last one, I would like to see, I would love to see that, or like do what we said about the Gen 4 remake. Instead of remaking Diamond and Pearl, just remake Platinum and put it on the Switch.
Yep.
And make it like some intense story that like can even tie in with like Sun and Moon story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that would be pretty cool, don't you think?
Yeah, it'd be perfect, especially with Pokemon like Arceus to tag in.
God. Can you imagine HD Arceus ripping shit up?
Right.
Oh man, that would be great.
Especially since, Arceus is the god of Pokemon and everything else.
He's more of a Jesus.
But I don't know. Other than that, I don't got anything else really to talk about the Switch, unless you do, from this presentation.
I mean, in terms of talking about it, like I said with Pokemon, I think there are some great IPs out there that Nintendo is gonna bring to the Switch. Animal Crossing.
Oh yeah.
If they don't have Animal Crossing on this stupid thing,
yeah, they gotta do it. They gotta do it. They're gonna do it. They gotta do it.
Like, do you feel me on that?
Right. I was like, okay, we don't have it on Wii U. You gotta put it on the Switch.
You gotta put it on the Switch. And the best thing about it is, like in my opinion, Animal Crossing New Leaf is definitely the best Animal Crossing out there. Besides, of course, the nostalgia of the original.
Right.
I'm not discrediting the original. It's a great game.
Yep. Only took 1 year of my life.
It only took like 1 year. I only played it for like 200 hours. But yeah, there were just some. Animal Crossing is such a great series. Both. This is yet another. See, I keep coming up with examples. It's another great example of having a home console experience on a handheld and vice versa.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I feel really strong about some of these games coming to the Switch and Nintendo properly supporting them.
Right. Yeah, I have a feeling that by the end of this year, the beginning of next year, I have a feeling that the Switch will be a decent thing to have as a gamer. For both console and handheld. I think the Switch will do good. Do good.
Yeah, I'm pretty. Right now, I'm rough on it. I think its launch it's a weak launch. I think that their accessories are priced like Apple would price something, which, in other words, shitty pricing, terrible pricing. There's a lot of negatives, but for me, it's more of a negative launch than it is negative potential. This console will be worth it. My opinion is it will be worth it. But the expectation level, the amount of hype that they built with the presentation that we had watched, we had waited months for it. Months. I mean, we've been waiting for over a year just to hear what this stupid thing is. And we've been waiting months to get some concrete info on this thing. And Nintendo just flopped. I think the presentation overall was a flop. They missed some important details and decided, oh hey, we'll talk to you about it, after it's over. You don't need to know details. Just we have ice cubes in a cup, in a glass. You can tell it's in a glass. You can tell I'm pouring water in it. How much water's in it? Fuck you, give me money. But it's not. Again, the gimmicks. Here's one thing. Its main gimmick, it's portable. That's a good gimmick. That's a gimmick that's an arc. It arcs over everything. It's important. It makes it a very versatile console, and it's something that basically everyone who owns a Switch is going to use. But stupid ass motion controls and HD Rumble, which by the way, HD Rumble, this is something I guess we didn't get to talk about. I'll just say something. I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. But developers have to actually support HD Rumble. It feels like water going in a glass. Yeah, if the developer feels like giving 5 little shits to do it, you know what I mean? They have to actually care to go do that. If they don't customize it as is, if they don't set the console up to actually give you that rumble effect, to be able to give that effect to you, you're not going to experience it. HD Rumble is a moot point. It's a useless feature, so it's a gimmick. Just like the motion controls, just like this and that. It's all part of a big gimmick, and that is something that I think creates a negative opinion of the Switch, that the Switch is another freaking gimmick machine by Nintendo. Even though the Wii U was not really a gimmick, it was, again, something that basically everyone would use, but then they made it gimmicky because it's Nintendo. But yeah, just to touch on that, again, something we didn't mention that I thought about, but I just didn't have a time to mention, the battery life. That's something we didn't talk about.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty important,
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, I just want to cover it real quick because that was another instance where I was surprised Nintendo talked about it, because I knew it was going to be trash. I knew it was. As for the level of trash, I don't know. But they said that on average you could get 3 hours on what is it called? You could get about 3 hours on playing the Legend of Zelda. The thing is, he never told us what the brightness settings were, if there's power settings, any of that. So, although we know this, we don't actually know that much about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Makes any sense. So the battery life, they said, could range between 2 and 6 hours. What the hell? So basically, you mean to tell me you have games like Splatoon, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild that consume, it's about 3 hours of battery life, and then you have, say, Pac-Man that can get 6. Ooh!
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't actually fully understand the value, if that makes sense. That battery life. It seems it's low. It's low. Now again, it's a hybrid, so you're going to be... What Nintendo really wants you to do is you're only going to use it portable when you really feel like going portable, or else you're basically going to keep it on the dock.
Right.
But yeah, that's just kind of my thing on the battery life.
Um, anything else we wanted to touch on before we close things up?
Um, uh, just to reiterate that the games, we don't know everything yet, I guess. Like the people at Nintendo or whatever said on Twitter and all that, the reveals are basically just starting. There are still plenty of them out there.
Right.
And again, like I said, what is it? Fire Emblem Warriors is getting its own, or Fire Emblem's getting its own direct, but really it's Fire Emblem Warriors. That's what they're going to show off. Unless
yeah,
they're...
I mean, yes, stay tuned for future events, future directs.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're going to see other stuff they
you
didn't
never know.
show.
Pokemon could have its own direct.
Exactly.
You don't know.
You know, you just gotta just keep posted or stay up to date with, you know, like their social medias and, you know, what other sources that you get your Nintendo news.
Basically, Nintendo has told us, hey, we don't want you to buy our console at launch, but why don't you keep paying attention to us, okay? We might impress you.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I am glad that, I know I am killing this one, but that Zelda is finally coming out. This has been a thing that's been in the works for like forever now.
I think just in general, people are excited the game's coming out, considering that they never held true on their promises to truly bring it to the Wii U. I mean, this Zelda game is like 2 years late. 2 years.
Right, because really, when you're really gonna remember like the Zelda stuff on Wii U, the only thing you're gonna remember is the HD GameCube Zelda titles that was on the Wii U, like Wind Waker and Twilight
Wii.
Princess. Well, yeah, if you're looking like that stuff too, but really, the Wii U wasn't like its own unique with like Zelda title, because it's going to share it with the Switch.
Yeah, it's still not the Switch's unique Zelda title.
Pretty much just it's just pulling another Twilight Princess. You know, Twilight Princess shared GameCube and Wii, so it's going to just share with two consoles.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care either way. I'm gonna get both. I don't care. I've already said what I had to say.
Yep. And you know, I think overall the Switch, you know, with the maybe just a touch on GameCube and all that. I would like to see Nintendo continue to bring HD ports, and you know, you played the Twilight Princess HD, right?
Yeah.
Well, so they made improvements, and I like that. I really like that, actually. I thought that was a cool idea. They improved, you know, they didn't do... Like, they were mostly just quality of life updates, for lack of a better word. But I did like that. I thought that was one way that Nintendo can bring these HD ports, and I kind of hope they continue to make HD ports of their games.
Yeah, yeah.
Not too many.
Yeah, not
like,
too many.
I would just appreciate a GameCube Virtual Console, but like, I don't know how you feel, but I would love to see a Super Mario Sunshine.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like an HD port of that. I would love to see that.
Oh yeah,
That'd be awesome.
I mean, yeah. I'm even still like banging on a few N64 titles to get like HD like remakes or whatever.
Yeah, you know, and well, they would require a little bit more love.
True, but you know, some of those games on the N64 were like big hits, and
no, true.
You know, I could deal. You know, I actually wanted Majora's Mask to at least be on the Wii U and have like the Wii U HD graphics, but I was still happy with the 3D on the
I
3DS.
think the 3DS was great because it made it portable.
Yeah. That was the other thing, because I had to sit down and think about it. I was like, yeah, I would like it on the Wii U because Majora's Mask being my favorite Zelda title. But then I was like, I think the 3DS is a good choice because playing one of my favorite games, and I could keep on playing even if I had to leave the house.
And don't forget the graphics.
Yeah,
The Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask 3D.
yeah,
Those graphics aren't HD, but I'll be damned if they ain't close.
Yeah, they look good. You know, they did good.
I think it looks really good. Like the character models look amazing. Like those are some of the best character models on the 3DS.
Yeah, and plus they did, they changed a few things to make, some things that weren't like frustrating on like the actual N64 version, and made it a bit better on the 3DS.
Oh yeah, with they added C-stick control with the new Nintendo 3DS.
Right, and then they made some things a bit more useful. So if you get lost, you could
Yeah, it was like
like
I said, some quality of life updates
Right.
that Nintendo has been doing to their games.
And it's nice, because then you wouldn't have to always like check online or watch a YouTube video to figure out what you have to do next, because they already have that in the game, so you're not lost all the time compared to like 10-year-old me always lost.
Yeah.
But I got through it. But yeah, I guess we're just a bit nostalgia for stuff, I guess.
Yeah, that's one of the things about Nintendo fans that I don't think Nintendo just doesn't seem to quite understand, is that nostalgia makes us purchase their stuff. I mean, I think a lot of people who purchased the Wii U purchased it just based on the fact that they love Nintendo and Nintendo has brought them so much enjoyment. So they kind of like, it's kind of like dreaming about it, you know what I mean? Like, you get on there, you're playing your games in HD, like Wind Waker. People were crazy when they heard Wind Waker was coming to the Wii U. That was a system seller for some people, even though it's just an HD,
Right.
port. It's not like these games aren't exactly ports; they're just enhanced ports, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Quality of life updates to them. They make them better. They give them HD paint. It's all good, and I like that. It's cool. But yeah, just to kind of wrap it up in terms of this, I would like to see Nintendo do a little bit more of the HD ports. Not too much, but bring a game or two that we love, like a weird game. Like I think it would just be really cool if they brought Super Mario, Sunshine HD, maybe Luigi's Mansion HD. I don't know if Luigi's Mansion was actually that popular. I loved it. It to this day, it is still my favorite GameCube game, based on the fact that I played it and I loved it, even though technically it's a tech demo apparently. But I couldn't tell because it felt like a full-fledged game.
Yeah.
But it just, to this day, is one of my top 5 favorite games.
Yeah, bring everyone's favorite Smash game back, Melee.
Melee, I mean, come on, Melee. Maybe, if not an HD port, bring us. And I can see why they wouldn't do an HD port for Smash. That would require a bit
at
more
least
work
put it on the
necessary.
Virtual Console.
But yeah, Virtual Console. If you don't put it on the Virtual Console, they are literally throwing money away. They would make more money putting it on the Virtual Console than not.
Yeah, because Melee is still my favorite Smash, and then I would probably put Wii U 3DS right after that. And I had put a lot of hours into Melee.
Yeah, I Melee. If I have to be honest, like, I can't quite rate which one is truly my favorite. I loved Brawl for its graphics. I loved Melee for its just because it was on GameCube pretty much, but I loved some of the characters they had in it, in the stages, some of the exclusive stages to Melee, and just a lot of what Melee did with the game itself. The pacing of matches felt great. And then with the 3DS and the Wii U, what I loved most about it was their dedication to make it feel competitive. I thought that the competitive development of Smash for 3DS and Wii U did not hurt didn't hurt Smash Bros. Instead, it enhanced it and made it a far more interesting game. It made Smash Bros. A little bit more than a button masher, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
There, you could have a lot more strategy than just using, not quite using glitches, but just kind of using strange physics to do things. So I know Melee used like wave dashing and stuff. Like, basically, if you were a pro player, you were like wave dashing and stuff, or whatever they called it. But that competitive vibe that the new Smash Bros. Gave off was just... I sunk so many hours into the 3DS version alone. I didn't sink as many in the Wii U, because by the time the Wii U version, I got to play it on Christmas, I think I had sunk in like 80 hours on the 3DS. But either way, it was still just the competitive vibe of it just really caught my interest and made me feel good about what's happened to Smash. But yeah, I think Smash at least bring us Melee, because I'd purchase it again. You kidding me? I'd purchase Melee on every single console. I'm a sad person. If I can have Smash on the go, especially a game that was an important part of my childhood, are you kidding me? I'll purchase it.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be like I'd be like, I don't have to wait for a pre-order, do I? I'm gonna have to wake up at 5 a.m. to download this thing. I don't have to wait for a pre-order.
I guess I'm gonna have to wait, or I'm gonna have to take my download and to college with me.
Darn it!
Oh.
But yeah, the Switch. I think what we're just talking here is basically there's a lot of potential in the Switch. There's so much potential. There's a lot of value, and $300. It's not even the stupid price of the thing that kills the system for me. It's just that I need to see Nintendo bring us the games. Bring us the games that we never got on Wii U. Wii U had some stellar games. Alright, the Wii U did really good for at least 2 years there. There were plenty of good games. I have them. I own them. There were some hella good games. But there wasn't enough.
Right.
And that's what I want to see on the Switch. I really want to see at least every 2 months. Next year, I want to see Nintendo releasing a big game. At least every 2 months. I know that people are like, pace them out.
Right.
But I'm sorry. Nintendo needs to prove to people like us who like to buy their games every month.
Right, because, yeah, we're starting with Zelda. Let's see what we can get, in like in the beginning of the summer months, and then what's the big thing for the fall, and what's the big, well, of course, Mario.
Yeah,
but
I do think it's important. Like, April has Mario Kart, so while Mario Kart isn't like a system seller or anything, at least not a Mario Kart that's technically, I mean, it is deluxe edition, but they're only adding essentially a DLC pack to it, if you ask me. And right. I don't even see any new stages yet. I got to know about the tracks. What about the tracks?
Right.
But they seem to have, like, okay, so Zelda is available day one. Then at the end of the next month, so you're waiting about 2 months. About 2. I'd say that's one, yeah, a few days off of 2 months. That's when you get your Mario Kart, which Mario Kart should hold you off till hopefully Splatoon comes out in June or July. So if it comes, let's say it comes out in June, like let's say it comes out in July, that's a decent release schedule. They're just dropping tons of good games on us, and I like that. So I do want to see Nintendo really support this console. I want to see them give it love, real love. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for, if that makes sense, that the Nintendo Switch gets the support that not only it deserves but needs. Because at the end of the day, support for these consoles makes a difference in value. It makes an overall difference in value. So $300 is not worth it if you don't really have a lot of content out for it in the first and second year. Like, for instance, the PlayStation 4, I really felt that the PlayStation 4 did not truly pay for itself until its third year.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I had, like, no games for it.
Yeah.
There was nothing coming out.
Yeah, because I treated my PS4 as a Netflix box for the first few years, because there wasn't anything out yet that I wanted.
Yeah, like, legitimately, like, what happened with me in the PS4, it sat under my desk, I think, for like 5 or 6 months. I didn't turn it on once. Not even to watch Netflix, because I already have a million devices that play Netflix. I went back to the PS3. I purchased the new console, went back to their old one because it actually had games.
Exactly. That's what I've done. I was playing more PS3 than PS4. But yeah.
So yeah, you know, it's going to be, when it comes down to Nintendo Switch overall, it's overpriced. But Nintendo needs to make a profit. But what I really need them to do to keep me as a fan of their games, I need them to have a steady release date. I want to see 6 or 7 big... Heck, I would love to see at least 7 big games available for the Switch over the course of a year. 7 big first-party games. And I know that's a lot, okay? That is a lot.
Right.
But that's a good number, don't you think?
Right. And we got at least 3 big ones throughout the year.
We do have some. I'm not going to take it away from them. We have some pretty good contenders right now. We have The Legend of Zelda, which is technically a Wii U title, so I really shouldn't count it. But at this point, fuck it, because Nintendo doesn't care anymore.
Yeah.
Nintendo's just pretending that it is a Nintendo Switch title. Have you noticed how not until today have they even talked about it on the Wii U? They've just been talking about it on the Nintendo Switch. like they're treating it like it's a Switch title. It's just a Switch title. So you've got The Legend of Zelda. We've got I'm not going to count Mario. Well, screw it. We'll count Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I don't like that. So we got 4 games. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, even though it's not really like a game.
Splatoon 2.
Splatoon 2. And then Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah. So,
and somewhere in the middle, maybe we're getting Fire Emblem Warriors.
Yeah. So
and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So technically, we could have, like I discussed, 6 or 7 big games. We could potentially have that. So I would like to see them really go hard this first year. Let's see some good games, and then let's see you pull out the big guns. You know, the real game changers next year. That's how I feel the Nintendo Switch should do it. And I think they have the potential. I know that some people are working on some games right now, and we're just talking first party here. We're not even talking third party. There's Project Sonic 2017. That is what I think, if only the games with true release areas are releasing this year, meaning we're not getting Xenoblade Chronicles 2. We're not getting Fire Emblem Warriors. Then games like Sonic Project 2017 will be able to cover those gaps.
Right.
So I want to see that happen. I want to see Nintendo, like maybe we'll get Skyrim in August. In July you're playing Splatoon 2. In August you're switching between some matches of Splatoon in an hour of like, Skyrim. Which is only for people who haven't played like unless you're like a diehard Skyrim fan, like don't purchase it again. You've probably already purchased it on the PS4. But yeah, so I as long as Nintendo can work with people, really get developers to help their console, to get them interested in developing for it, we could have potentially the best. I mean, I'm saying better than the GameCube, which for me was personally, besides for their consoles, like just full home consoles, I thought the GameCube was their best. But again, that was when I grew up. That was around the time I was in elementary school and going into middle school.
Why you had
why
you went to school and you had your GameCube because you were holding it by the handle and
well, it doubled as a lunch.
Exactly, it's a perfect.
It has the lunchbox. Well, it's not a lunchbox handle, but it's pretty dang close to it.
Right?
When you go to lunch, do you sit there and eat your lunch, or are you a little weeby nerd and play your video games? I play my video games.
Yeah, hell yeah.
At the time, I was kind of a weeb, so.
Hell yeah. You played your Smash Brothers at the cafeteria.
No, I wish. Dang. I always tried to sneak in my Game Boy Advance, though.
Yeah, that was me too.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much the Switch could do. I really think that I know that this isn't like we'll probably discuss this another time, but you know how I am when it comes to the technical details, the infrastructure of this console and everything.
Right.
It really is interesting to see Nintendo go full ARM architecture, to see them turn an Android tablet into a straight up gaming machine, like a real gaming machine. That is really cool. The Nintendo Switch, by design, is the dream you had when you were 8 years old and you wished you could have put your freaking Super Mario on the stupid the Super Mario what is it? Like if you could take Super Mario 64 and then bring it with you on your Game Boy Color, your Game Boy Advance, you wish you could do that. And now it's possible. You can bring Super Mario Odyssey with you on the go.
Yeah, you don't have to stop.
This is going to be a game changer. And I don't know. That really hits home with me.
Yeah, it should really. I still think by the end of the year, I think the Switch will be becoming a decent Nintendo console, handheld greatness.
Handheld vibrator. That HD Rumble.
HD Rumble. Can you feel it now, Mr. Krabs?
That's what Nintendo really made HD Rumble for, their Pornhub app. Oh my goodness. You know what we skipped over? I really think we should talk about this because this is really important.
Go for it.
We skipped over the fact that Nintendo's online stuff is managed through it's managed through an app on a mobile device. It's not even managed through the game itself, or the system itself, apparently. Now, something that does make me nervous, and again is really shitty by them if they do this, they said you can use a limited version of their phone app to control these things. Now, what do they mean by limited version? That makes me extremely nervous, because Sony's app, the PlayStation app, and the Xbox app are both free. 100% free. So they really shouldn't be charging us
for
a price for their stupid app that isn't a game. It's not a game. Don't again, this is one of those things. Your competitors are literally not being pretentious. So don't be pretentious. But yeah, so I just wanted to mention that real quick. It's important to note that. I think.
Yeah, It's pretty good that you said that.
Yeah, I know it's one of those details that we did. There's so much to cover. We were never going to cover it all. But yeah, this is the dream right now. The Nintendo Switch is going. It could potentially let us live the dreams that we had when we were kids. You know what I mean?
True.
And do what Sony couldn't, because Sony did cross save with the Vita and just didn't work out because the Vita sucked.
Right.
But yeah, just all of this. It's so interesting. There's so much to the Nintendo Switch, and I hope that developers will use it to its full potential.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what else is coming.
It's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth purchasing it, just not at launch. At least in my opinion. I'm not sure how exactly you feel about it.
I feel pretty good about it.
But do you really think it's worth it at launch?
From what I saw last night, probably not.
Well, all of the launch games are up, I think, on GameStop. You can see them all.
Yeah, like I said earlier, in this, if Mario and Zelda were both, I mean Zelda is, but if Mario was joining Zelda as a launch title, then yes. But I would not be, at the moment, I would not be getting a Switch in March to just play Zelda, and that's it. But other than that, I think for at least me right now, sometime in the middle of summer, probably right around the time whenever Splatoon 2 comes out, that would probably be the time I will be getting a Nintendo Switch. And especially by then, they'll definitely be in stock. Like, you shouldn't have any issues getting any. Like,
I think anyone who really wanted to get theirs they're getting it on the 3rd.
Right. Because trust me, I don't think, like, I'm not gonna go for that whole like PS4 shortage crisis when I was trying to get a PS4 back in the beginning, which I wish I would have held off. But I didn't. I just wanted one.
Did you get a PS4 at launch?
I was shooting for a PS4 at launch, but one, I didn't pre-order the thing, and I had to wait almost 4 months before I could get my PS4 to come in.
Wow. I just remember it was June of 2014, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go buy a PS4, and I bought a PS4. There wasn't a problem.
Yeah,
I guess its launch was. There was so much hype surrounding the consoles that people just like ate it up, even though there wasn't really anything to play on.
Yeah, go back in time, back to Black Friday of 2013, and try to find a PlayStation 4. Yeah,
by the way, the PlayStation 4 wasn't even a Black Friday sale. It was just people were just trying to get one.
And the craziest thing was, I mean, I should have known this, but the Xbox One, there was tons of those. You had no problem getting one. But the PS4, they were gone. I was
my god!
Yeah,
people they hated the Xbox One. It was $100 more expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
And it had the stupid Kinect that you always had to have plugged in. They shot themselves in the foot and walked around anyways.
Right. But yeah, but like I said, I'm not gonna pull a PS4 this time with the Switch. I mean, I got the Wii U at launch, but that one wasn't really that hard.
I didn't get the Wii U for like a whole maybe 2 years. Oh God, maybe it was. When did the Wii U launch?
2012.
I had the PS4 before I had the Wii U.
Yeah.
I must have got the Wii U in two. I got a PS4 and a Wii U.
Yeah, because the 3DS came out in 2011, and the Wii U came out a year later.
When did Super Mario 3D Land come out? Did that come out in 2011?
Either 2011 or 2012.
I don't think it was 2012 because I remember getting an original 3DS, and I got it when 3D Land came out. I just don't remember when 3D Land came out. I'm pretty sure it was 11.
Right.
But it had to have been. But it was after. Do you remember the? Oh shoot! There was like the ambassadors program.
Yeah, I was part of that.
I didn't get it.
Yeah,
I didn't get the ambassadors program.
Yeah.
I don't know how long that was covered though.
I think it was like after like the first few months of getting a 3DS.
So it would have had to have been 2011.
Yeah. I mean, I could like fact check it right now. Yeah, November 3rd, 2011.
Yeah, I got it. I got it like literally around that time, like probably a week after that game came out.
But yeah. Well, if you had a Wii U at launch, you had games like Nintendo Land and New Super Mario Bros. U and
Yep.
and
All the fun games.
and Zombie U, and I'm like, I really have only played like 15 minutes of that game, and I haven't even touched it after that. But yeah.
Well, I guess if you want, we can wrap it up.
Yeah, we've definitely been at this, but
I think we found that dead horse, which is the Switch, and then we beat it till it was nothing but a pile of mush.
right, right.
I think it's just because we're excited. I mean, we've been waiting.
The presentation was kind of lacklustering,
But there's so much potential. We've seen
Right.
what it can do. We have a firmer grasp on what games are going to look like.
yeah, I would say the hype train was a kind of shaky there, but I think the tracks are going to be pretty smooth from after the next couple months after the launch month. And
We got a little wait before things get good.
oh, I was about to say, why is the Sega song playing? But no, it's Minor B from Pokemon Coliseum, the guy with the Pokeball afro. You remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, why is Saudi Amigo coming on?
Murby, bro.
But
Well, I guess we'll.
yeah, I
Let's see
think
what happens.
I think we're gonna end things here. So anyone who watched live, thank you for joining. And I think this was a pretty good discussion overall.
Yep, definitely.
So